On the other hand, devotional service to Krishna, even when a person makes some mistake in the devotional activities, but Krishna accepts the mood of a devotee. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna does not very scrutinizingly see. Sometimes a devotee may improperly pronounce the mantra, but Krishna accepts the mood. If a devotee incompletely performs the devotional service, still the devotee will be saved from the greatest danger. Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayona Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. And when a devotee performs the devotional service completely and perfectly, he gets eternal results, which will never be destroyed. Jiva Goswami also quotes the example of King Driga as, he says that King Driga was a devotee of Krishna, because in one of the verses, King Driga says that I had a desire to take your darshan before, like that he says. Jiva Goswami quotes that shloka. That means Jiva Goswami, Driga was a devotee. But although he was a devotee, yeah, a Karma Mishra Bhakta kind of, but still, why did he have to see Yamaraj? Because Yamaraj had given the order to the Yamadutas. The 6th canto, 3rd chapter. Never ever bring the Vaishnavas who have even once bowed down to Krishna, who have once remembered Krishna, but once chanted the names of Krishna, hereafter to the Yamaloka. Yamaraj had given that order. So if King Driga, although not a pure devotee, but he was some mixed devotee, but then why did he have to see the Yamadutas? Why did he have to go to Yamaraj? Jiva Goswami says that King Driga, he committed the offense of considering the glories of bhakti to be exaggeration. Although he was a devotee, but he considered the glories of bhakti to be exaggeration. Therefore, he did not put his full effort in the process of bhakti. Rather, he put his full effort in the karma kanda charity. Therefore, when he because he commit, as a result of that offense of committing the glory, or considering the glories of bhakti to be an exaggeration, and also as a result of making a inadvertent mistake of displeasing the Brahmanas, he ended up becoming a lizard for many years. At the end of the chapter, after King Driga departed to heaven, Lord Krishna instructed his personal associates and the general mass of people about importance of respecting the Brahmanas and on the dangers of stealing a Brahmana's property. The dangers of stealing a Brahmana's property. That last section of the chapter is very important. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagathitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama. How Krishna, Brahmanas are very dear to Krishna. Even if a Brahmana, sometimes we may see certain, they are greedy of certain mistakes, but still Krishna says that never steal the property of the Brahmana. Like that he gives instruction, because this instruction is important. Because later the Yadukumaras, they ended up displeasing the Brahmanas, and then they got a curse by the Brahmanas, and by which the entire Yadu dynasty got destroyed. And then chapter 65, very beautiful chapter, Lord Balaram visiting Vrindavan. So Lord Balaram, he went to pacify the Vrajavasis, because he knew the sufferings of the Vrajavasis in separation from Krishna. He went to give hope to the Vrajavasis. The duty of a preacher is to give hope to the conditioned souls. Conditioned souls are suffering in this world in separation from Krishna, not knowing that the reason for the suffering is that they've forgotten Krishna. A devotee goes to give hope to the conditioned souls. A devotee goes to give hope to other devotees. Because when we face many difficulties, one may lose faith in the process of bhakti. Therefore, a devotee is supposed to give hope to others. So Balaramji went to pacify and give hope to the Vrajavasis. So when he arrived there, the elder gopis and Krishna's parents, who had all been in anxiety for a long time, they embraced Balaram and blessed Balaram. And Balaramji appropriately greeted them, offered obeisances to them. Balaramji inquired about their welfare. And then, but Balaramji, when he was coming from Dwaraka to Vrindavan, Balaramji was feeling a great burden about the task which he has to perform. He was feeling the great burden. With every step, that burden was increasing in his mind. He felt that in my Amsha as Ananta, I am holding millions of universes on my head. But the millions of universes appear like a mustard seed for the Lord Ananta. Because Lord Ananta is actually engaged in glorifying the qualities of Krishna. Because of that, he feels the carrying the universes is like carrying a mustard seed. But that Ananta who feels the weight of the universes to be like a mustard seed, that Ananta's Balaramji, whose Amsha of Amsha is Lord Ananta, that Balaramji is feeling the greatest burden of carrying Lord Krishna's message to the gopis. Balaramji was feeling that this message which Krishna has given to be conveyed to the gopis, to pacify the gopis, this message is so burdensome because I don't know how I'm going to convey the message of Krishna to the gopis. Because Balaramji knew the mood of devotion of the gopis, and therefore he felt that how will I be able to convey the exact mood of Krishna to the gopis and pacify them? It's not that simply reading out a message. You have to convey the message to pacify them. You have to understand the feelings of the person in front of you and pacify them. So Balaramji felt that it's not a physical burden Balaramji is referring. Balaramji is feeling that the weight of the message which Krishna has given towards the gopis, that message is so burdensome. He felt for each step, he was feeling the increasing burden of that. So Balaramji initially met the elderly gopas and then his equals. But then later Balaramji came to meet the gopis. And the gopis, they started, in the separation from Krishna, they started speaking to Balaramji. Does Krishna still remember his parents and friends? Will he be coming to Gokul to visit them? For Krishna's sake, we gave up everything. Even our fathers, relatives, and mothers. But now he has abandoned us. How could we help but put our faith in Krishna's words? In this way, gopis were speaking to Balaram. And Balaramji, at that time, he was in a helpless situation. He was feeling that how can I convey the exact message of Krishna's love towards the gopis? So at that time, Balaramji started praying to Krishna. And then Balaramji started speaking to the gopis. And when the gopis heard from Balaram, and for a moment, after hearing that, the gopis felt that it appears that we are directly hearing Krishna. although they were seeing Balaram in front of them, they felt as if that they were actually hearing Krishna. So what had happened was that Balaramji started intensely praying to Krishna. I am completely incapable to pacify the gopis. You please appear in my heart and you please speak through me to pacify the gopis. So therefore, in that particular shloka in the Bhagavatam is called as Sankarshana. Sankarshana means one who attracted Krishna. One who attracted Krishna to appear in his mind, and Krishna appeared in Balaramji's mind, and Krishna spoke through Balaramji to the gopis. And therefore the gopis felt that it appears that Krishna is speaking to us. So this is the mood of the Adi Guru. The Adi Guru, he actually prayed to Krishna. He prayed to Krishna, you please speak through me to pacify the gopis. And the same mood of the Adi Guru, every Guru, Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, is a representative of Balaram. Every Guru has the same mood as Balaramji. Therefore, when Shukdev Goswami, before answering the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, the second canto, 4th chapter, Shukdev Goswami offered praise to the Lord. In that one of the prayers, he says that Bhutair Mahadbir Yayima Puro Vibur Nirmaya Shete Yadamushu Purushaha Bhunkte Gunan Shodasha Shodashatmaka Solankrishishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me. Shukdev Goswami is praying that he's praying to Krishna, you please appear in my heart and you please decorate my words. And in order to answer the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, I am completely incapable. You please appear in my tongue. You please decorate my words and speak through me in such a way that Parikshit Maharaj can understand my words. So the same mood was adopted by Shukdev Goswami and the same mood was adopted by Suta Goswami in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Yahasvanu Bhava Makila Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravobi Netus Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatos. Suta Goswami said that when Shukdev Goswami went to the forest, the Vyasadeva was going after him, and then he called out for his son, and only the trees replied to Vyasadeva, why are you attached to your son? The Shukdev Goswami entered into the minds of the trees and pacified Vyasadeva, who was in separation from his son. The Suta Goswami is praying that just like Shukdev Goswami entered into the minds of the trees and spoke to Vyasadeva, may that Shukdev Goswami enter into my mind and answer the questions of these sages. So this is the mood of Suta Goswami and Shukdev Goswami, and this is the mood of the Adi Guru Balaram. Balaramji felt helpless and prayed to Krishna to appear in his mind. And Krishna appeared in Balaramji and then he spoke to the gopis. And then Balaramji stayed in Gokul for 2 months. And then he was sporting with the gopis on the bank of the Yamunas. And the demigods witnessed those pastimes. And one day Balaramji, in an intoxicated condition, he started drinking the Varuni liquor. And he began wandering in the forest along with the gopis. At that time, he called out to Yamuna, come near to me so that I and the gopis can enjoy sporting in your waters. But Yamuna ignored the command of Balaramji. So Balaramji became transcendently angry. Balaramji started to pull the Yamuna with the end of his plow. And then because of that, Yamuna split into hundreds of tributaries. And then the Yamuna became afraid, and then Yamuna fell down at Balaram's feet and prayed for forgiveness. And then Balaramji let her go, and then entered her waters, and along with his gopis, along with Balaram's consorts, he sported in the Yamuna for some time. So, and then later, goddess Kanti presented Balaramji with the beautiful ornaments, clothing, and garlands. So we see this is a beautiful pastime of how Balaramji became intoxicated, and actually Yamuna surrendered to Balaram. There is a very beautiful pastime in this regard. I'll complete with this. Once Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's disciple Yamuna Mataji was living in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada rarely saw Yamuna. Yamuna Mataji was there in Vrindavan, but she did not come to meet Prabhupada. So, and then one day Prabhupada actually inquired, why Yamuna is not coming to meet me? Why Yamuna is not coming to serve me? So Yamuna admitted to Prabhupada that she was afraid because Prabhupada last few days he is in the mood of chastising others. Therefore, I'm afraid to come and meet Prabhupada because Prabhupada was chastising the devotees to build the Vrindavan temple fast. So Prabhupada said that only by pushing the devotee, the temple can be built fast. But Yamuna, again, she actually confessed that I am afraid to face the anger of Prabhupada. That time Prabhupada said that you may be afraid of your spiritual master, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't come and see him. And then Prabhupada narrated the story of Balaramji, how he once forced Yamuna to come before him. Yamuna did not come to meet Balaramji out of fear of Balaram. So he said that although you may be afraid, but you should not hesitate to come and meet your spiritual master. So Prabhupada narrated the story, and all the devotees became aware that Prabhupada was not only telling the Leela of Balaramji frightening the river Yamuna, but was also indirectly giving his message to his disciple Yamuna Devi. So in that way, then Yamuna Mataji agreed to stop her foolish reluctance and came and cook for Prabhupada and came and started cooking for Prabhupada. So there is a very beautiful shloka in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Just 1 minute. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's a very beautiful shloka which talks about Balaramji's Prajalpa. Balaramji's transcendental babbling. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I will just quote the shloka and then we'll end. This is a very beautiful shloka. There are different types of Prajalpa. We hear about how Prajalpa is not favorable for Bhakti. But there are also transcendental Prajalpa in the spiritual domain. They are described in the Ujjwala and Neelamani, like Prajalpa, Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Vujjalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa, Abhijalpa, etc. But there is a beautiful shloka in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu about Balaramji's transcendental babbling. Balaramji, when he drank the Varuni, he actually babbled like this. Bhamati, Medini, Lala, Lambate, Chandrama, Krishna, Babadha, Dhrutam, Hasanti, Kim Vrishnayah, Shishidu, Mumumuncha, Me Papa Pana Patra Stitam, Madaskalitam, Alapan Haladara Shriyamva Kriyat. So, what is the meaning of the shloka? Balaramji is saying that the earth is spinning around, the moon is hanging upside down. Krishna, tell me if the Vrishnis are laughing on me. Give me wine in my drinking vessel. May that Lord Haladar, who was thus faltering in intoxication, ensure prosperity for all of you. So that beautiful Balaramji, in his intoxication, in his intoxicated state of drinking Varuni, how he actually performed his transcendental Rasa Leela along with his set of gopis in at the banks of Yamuna. That's also described. So I'll stop here. I already have to another commitment at this time. I could just cover only briefly cover 3 chapters. And it will be continued later.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. One quick question, if you have 1 minute. What mood we need to have to celebrate tomorrow's Balram Jayanti? Here we have Balram Jayanti tomorrow, Friday. What mood everybody should have to celebrate Balram Jayanti?
Yeah, Balaram Jayanti. Balaram Jayanti is the Balaramji is the supreme personality of Sarvaiter Godhead. And Balaramji serves Krishna in all the 5 rasas. We can pray to Balaramji that may we get a sincere service attitude towards the Vaishnavas, the mood of servant of the Vaishnavas. And we can pray to Balaramji that we can become a instrument of compassion of our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada and his representatives. And we can pray to Balaramji that we may get a taste for hearing and chanting the holy name and Krishna Katha for the pleasure of Krishna. We can actually tell that.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So, you have another nectarian class delivered for all of us in your busy schedule. We are so much thankful to you, Prabhuji. So, we'll keep inviting you. Please come and shower more and more nectar for all of us. Thank you very much.
Right.
So let's thank His Grace Radha Vallabha Prabhu by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Radha Vallabha Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, brother.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. Dear devotees, we will have a regular Bhagavatam class tomorrow morning, and tomorrow evening we will have Balram Jayanti at 60 Anita Drive, Piscataway, Ramkarnish Prabhu. So you are all come and enthusiastically serve Lord Baladev to get more and more spiritual strength. Balram is meant for to giving the spiritual strength. Thank you very much. We will wind up the class by chanting 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा की जय। कृष्ण कथामृतम की जय। बलराम जयंती की जय। श्री कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा।